So, firstly, many congratulations. Just been appointed first team manager. What are your immediate thoughts and feelings on that?
Well, first of all, thank you. I'm delighted to be here. I really am. It's been quite a long process, really. There've been, I think, to be fair to the chairman, like the goalposts have moved a little bit over the last few weeks, probably from the back end of last season, obviously, and even more recently as well. And he's obviously had to talk to a lot of different people. But I'm proud and delighted to be here. I really am. So, I'm looking forward to a challenge, and it is going to be a challenge. It's a tough division. We were talking about it, anyone can be anyone type of division. We haven't got too much time now to start shaping a team squad for A, to report back for pre-season, and obviously B, then to go and attack the season next year. And the football club's come off the back of a tremendous season last year, where they went to Leamington in the semis, as we know, and it could have gone either way. A real nip and tuck game. I watched the Needham game, the last home game of the season, and good side. Redditch were good. I was impressed. They got some good players, good footballers, good mixture of physicality and technical players. It's going to be one of those people that are going to expect, more of the same. We've got to obviously cope with one or two that have left, good players as well, and try and shape a squad and mould a squad to go into next season. So
the first thing I wanted to touch on was, I think many people know about your playing career. Obviously, you won the Premier League with Blackburn, had 11 England caps as well.
Yeah.
People dream of when they're growing up, kicking a ball around in their garden. Yeah. But from that experience that you had, what do you draw from that to bring into your managerial game?
Well, obviously, slightly different levels. What I did was when I retired at 36, I went into the goalkeeping coaching side of it. Had my hips replaced, so I went and had them done, and came back, and I sort of went back into Leicester City and coached the goalkeepers. Moved on to Man City then when Kevin Keegan was the manager, goalkeeping coach. And then a very good mate of mine, Ian Dowie, rung me up, and he'd got the Coventry City job and said, would I like to go in and be his assistant? So that's when my sort of thought process in terms of what I wanted to do in terms of coaching wise changed a little bit. The brief was obviously a lot bigger, more to do, more involved, and it was then that I began to think about managing, if you like, or going into management. And I thought, realistically, where am I going to pitch in to get a job? Probably non-league. So what I did was I made sure that I did a hell of a lot of games. I went to a lot. If I went to a game, it was non-league always. Sometimes step 3, step 2. Sometimes conference, national league, but always non-league. So I was always looking at players, styles, how teams, successful teams, did it. How they set up, and to be honest, I think sometimes players do. You come to the end of your career and you think, I'll manage, it's easy, or it is difficult. It's a tough job, a real tough job.
We had a great season last year. Everyone always has the expectation of improving, which is difficult when there's only 3 places to improve on last year. But having the 5 weeks before pre-season and all the foundation sort of set in place, I guess what would your ideal be for a playing style here next season?
Yeah, those roles that I've done before, you're going in to a club either halfway or beyond halfway through a season, and you're not probably going in there because they're doing well. You know what I mean? You're going in there because they've hit a brick wall or found a problem, and they're looking for a change of angle or whatever. Obviously, you're inheriting other people's ideas and other people's squads and thoughts on players, and it's very difficult to change. As late as that, there's what is there available. How am I going to get a result out of a team that's not getting results? Blah blah blah. Obviously, looking at it here, first of all, it's an AstroTurf pitch, and I watched that Needham game, so there was, Redditch have got some good footballers in the team. Yeah, we've lost, there's some gone, obviously, which is well documented, but that sort of surface lends itself to playing a little bit more, looking to probably go through the thirds a little bit more, again, depending on what you've got in your team. If you've got technical players who can handle the ball, then fine, then you can develop a style around that. If you haven't, then they're not comfortable on the ball, you've got to think of something different. But look, with a surface like that, and with the players that were here last year, I thought the style suited the players. If it ain't broke, don't try and fix it. You're looking at probably going down that route of looking to play a little bit more from the back. But again, let's see who's available out there, who we can bring in to try and bolster the squad, because we have lost obviously Reece and Ryan, which are big misses. Let's not beat around the bush. They're really good players, two of the best that were here. So we've got to replace them somehow. It's not going to be easy. But first port of call is, can we keep the majority of the boys that hopefully I'm going to meet tonight and just have a quick chat with. Listen, horses for courses as well in terms of style. If you're going to go and play on a mud pit or a bomb site of a pitch, which is where I was last year a little bit, the surface weren't great. Got lads probably who were more adept to play off the front, so that's what we did. Here, that may well be different.
So, carrying on really from that answer, season's looming already. It seems like there's never a break, but what do the next steps for you look like in the coming days and weeks? I think we've briefly mentioned it already, but people will be quite keen to see those players we saw last year, and maybe staffing wise, obviously you were only given the job probably half an hour ago with Dave, so I don't want to go into it too much, but have you got ideas for that already?
Well, I've got, obviously, the staff wise, I'm not coming here and throwing people out the window. There's good stuff here, so I've got to meet them later on and have a quick chat with them. Hopefully they want to stay. Obviously, there's a few people around that are waiting to see who's going to be the manager. That's usually our players and the existing staff who roll at this time. They're looking to see who's coming in. I'll have a chat with them tonight. I want them to stay, and I'll make that point to them. Obviously we've got 3 existing members of staff: first team coach, goalkeeping coach, physio. So we're okay. If they want to stay, then that's great. And then obviously we've got a group of players that are still left that want to know what's going on. So, and as I've said to you, I want them to stay. I want them to come in for pre-season, and I'm going to need to add to that. And again, it's a lot harder going out there after Christmas trying to find players than it is at the moment. There's going to be a shed load of players floating around this summer. I think sometimes you're as well not to unless something of decent quality. We don't have to jump in with 2 feet right now, but let's see what's out there, put the feelers out, speak to some agents, speak to some players. And again, listen, there's a budget at the football club as well, and it's a strictish budget, so you've got to be careful with how you spend it. So, I've got to try and get value for money, which they did last year for sure. They got a lot out of the lads here. They sort of run them dry, if you like, and got everything out of them. So, my job's to try and do that again. So let's see. Obviously that's the thing now. Half your job's on the telephone all the while. So let's see who's out there, who we can get, who's interested, and hopefully, as I say, we can keep the core of what we had, and then see if we can bring some in.
So, last question for you, for all the fans that have stayed till the end of this interview and are watching on. I think they'll be eagerly anticipating. What would your message be to the fans ahead of the new season?
Well, listen, I said to Dave, I'm not coming here to let anyone down. I want to do well for the football club. Listen, they're on the back of probably their most successful season for some time. So I'm obviously aware of that. I'm aware that if we could have kept that team together en masse, you've got some good players. We've lost a few. No one's irreplaceable at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a blow, but you've got to move on. And there's lots of good players. Hopefully, we can speak to a few and attract a few. It's going to be a tough act to follow. Make no mistake, it's going to be a tough act to follow. But I've come here to try and help and try and improve. Listen, I've got a lot of experience. Listen, whether I bring another coach, I'm not sure yet. I'll have to think about that. But I just want to come here. I want them to come and support the team like they did. I mean, it's a fantastic atmosphere for the Needham game here. All sides of the ground were in good voice. It was rocking a little bit. So hopefully they'll turn up and watch us early doors. And I want to try and get some results and see if we can match what we did last year. A bit of a tough ask, but that's going to be, the plan is to have a right good go. And we'll see what happens. But as I say, I'm a humble lad. I'm here to try and help, to try and improve players, try and improve on what we had and what we've done. And that won't be easy, but I'll give it a go.